Today, we are talking about one of my absolute favorite topics, which is habits. And if you are who I think you are, this is probably one of your favorite topics too. And today, I'm going to be sharing some amazing tips to help make your habits actually stick. Because what's the point of a habit if you just keep trying to do it and it never sticks? Welcome to another episode of Focus on This. This is the most productive podcast on the internet, so you can banish distractions, get the right stuff done, and finally start loving Mondays. I'm Marissa Hyatt, and I am back solo again this week. Ken will be joining me next week, finally. I know you guys have been missing him. I have too, and I can't wait to get to talk with him. And we're going to have a great episode for you guys next week. He's been busy talking to people about our new group coaching program called Double Win Coaching that we're just so excited about. So you're stuck with me today, but I think we've got a great episode for you. And we are going to be talking about strategies to help you build habits that stick. Now, this is so incredibly important because how often, okay, just like moment of honesty, how often have you said, I'm going to start this habit? And you get, a week or so under your belt, and then it just falls off, and you feel like you can never get that habit to stick, and you keep starting over. Well, I have a trainer that I watch her videos online. She's not a personal trainer, but she has like an online program. And one of the things that she says that I love is if you're sick of starting over, stop quitting. And I think that that is so helpful. And, it's so often that we just give up or something happens, life gets in the way, and we lose track of those habits that we're trying to build. And so, what I'm going to share with you guys today are 3 strategies to really help you create habits that actually stick, that you can keep over and over and over. Now, a couple things that I want to talk about before we dive into these strategies. So, you've probably heard that it takes 21 days to form a habit, which is actually false. There's no research that actually supports that in the least. What we do know is that in order to create specifically a health or wellness related goal, it on average will take 66 days to make that habit stick. So I think this is helpful for us as we start to think about habits to set our expectations of how long it's going to take to actually install that habit fully into our lives. One of the things that I've really personally been focusing on is being consistent in my workout habit. I feel really committed to that. It is something that I love doing, but I've struggled to be consistent with. And so for the last few months, I told myself that I was going all in. I was going to be fully committed to this goal. But I also wanted to make space for life and not have such a rigid approach where it was either I'm in 100% doing it every single day. And if I miss one day, then I throw in the towel and I'm out, which is kind of the pattern I was in before. But I really wanted to say consistency was the most important thing. And so, what I have chosen to do, and this can be helpful as you're thinking about your goals, is to say to yourself, I can miss a day, like whatever the habit is that you're building, whether it's a workout habit, you're trying to floss your teeth, or you're trying to get in a supplement routine, or maybe you're trying to make a certain amount of sales calls every single day and you're trying to get in that habit, or you want to write a book. And so you're trying to get in a daily habit of writing. Whatever the habit is, tell yourself, I'm allowed to miss a day. Like life is going to happen. There's going to be days where I don't feel well. I don't feel up for it for whatever reason or another. And that's okay. That's totally fine. But I'm not allowed to miss 2 days in a row. That has really helped me to figure out a way to keep things steady and consistent. So let's go ahead and dive into 3 specific strategies that are going to help you stick to your goals, specifically your habits. All right, strategy number 1 is to pair your new habits with established ones. So you've probably heard this, but using existing ingrained habits to jumpstart new ones is such an effective strategy. This is typically called habit stacking. And this is something like as you're making your morning coffee, you take your supplements. Okay. Or if you're looking to floss consistently, maybe you put your floss right next to your toothbrush so that you're able to remind yourself, hey, I need to do this. You're pairing it with an existing habit. The benefit here is that it's so much easier to form that habit, and you're not going to have as much effort because it's not like a brand new thing that you're trying to do. You're just trying to kind of stack those together, which is awesome. And I love this because this is really the power of rituals. So if you use the Full Focus Planner, or even if you don't, you may be familiar here at Full Focus. We have 4 primary rituals that we encourage you to create. So the first 2, that's your morning and evening ritual. And these are rituals that are going to really help fuel you for your energy, for your well being, your mental health, all of that. And they're things that help you start the day and stop the day, like get into that rest mode, be able to sleep effectively, and get going so that you can be as productive as you can be during the day. But the 2 that you may not be as familiar with are your workday startup and your workday shutdown ritual. Those are super effective for helping put boundaries on your work and making sure that you're not overworking and that work isn't inevitably bleeding into the rest of your life. And during these rituals, you can stack a lot of habits together. So, for instance, in your morning routine, you may want to pair, like I said, your morning coffee with taking your supplements. Or you may want to put, where right after you do some kind of reading, you meditate or pray, directly after. So those 2 things happen next to each other. Maybe you want to get into a habit of reading. And so you want to listen to an audiobook on your morning walk or during your workout. Those are great ways to stack those habits together. Same thing with your workday startup and shutdowns. If you're like me, you have certain KPIs that you want to report on every single day. And you want to do that during that startup ritual because it's a great time to make sure it happens every single day, get into the routine. When that alarm goes off, that it's time for that ritual, that you're going to be able to stick to that. And maybe it's things like you want to get in the habit of doing a better job of responding to emails. You can do that during that ritual. So, strategy number 1 is to pair your new habits with existing habits. Now, strategy number 2 is to let visibility work for you. I love this. The truth is, if you are not keeping your habits visible, you're not going to actually accomplish them. There's going to be days where you forget or where life happens. And if it's not staring you in the face, you're going to forget about them. One of the things that I have been trying to get in a better habit of is taking my supplements every single day. So one of the strategies that I've done is I have a tray on my kitchen counter, and I have these little bowls that I've dumped out my supplements into so that I can just grab those as I'm here making my coffee in the morning. However, there's a few days a week that I typically go into our office. And if I have not been able to do that first thing in the morning, maybe I didn't have breakfast first thing and I wanted to take those supplements with me to take later in the day. 9 times out of 10, I end up not taking the supplements because they're in my bag and I completely forget that they're there. And then I come home and I see those supplements sitting on my counter and I'm like, oh, I totally forgot that I brought my supplements to the office and I never took them. So keeping your habits visible is such a great strategy for making them to stick. So a few examples of this are if you're trying to get in the habit of using your planner every single day and setting that daily big 3, make sure that you leave your planner out at your workstation. So if you have a desk at your house or at your office, or you have a specific chair that you typically sit and work in, put your planner there and leave it open so that you immediately know it's time to do that. So one of the things that you could do is at the end of your day, go ahead and flip to the next page, write the date in it, and leave it open, ready for you to see the next morning so that immediately you know it's time to set my daily big 3 and use my planner. You could also put your shoes or workout clothes out the night before. We often at Full Focus call these types of visibility activation triggers because it triggers you to take action on whatever that habit is. So if you're trying to, for instance, get into the habit of walking every single day, go ahead and put your walking clothes and shoes out the night before so that when you up in the morning, it's there to remind you it's time to go walk. Now, the benefit is that you're just increasing the likelihood of completing that habit with your constant reminders. The other thing you can do is literally set reminders in your phone or in your calendar to do things. So, one of the habits that I was trying to get into, this is several months ago, was to review my budget every single week. And I completely forgot about it because I wasn't looking at it every day. And I was really struggling to stick to that habit, which goes to one of my financial goals that I've got. And I decided to just go ahead and put it on my calendar. And so every single Sunday, I have a specific block of time where I call my weekly money ritual that I do. And I look at my budget and do several other things during that time. And not only did I schedule that onto my calendar, but I set a reminder. So it reminds me 15 minutes before that appointment time with myself. And that's a great trigger for me to stick to that habit. So that's another great strategy that you can use. Set up a reminder in your phone, a calendar invite that, has some kind of alert on it to keep you on that. All right. And then strategy number 3 is to build a reward into the habit. So you can attach some kind of a reward to make your habit more appealing. So I love this because, for instance, if you are trying to, you know, get good at reading and that's something that you want to do more frequently, you can attach this to your exercise routine that you may already have, or some kind of walking routine that you've got. So you can, that can feel like a reward, like, oh, I can't wait because I'm going to get to go on my walk and listen to my book, and it feels really good. And the benefit of this is that the pleasure of the pleasure of the reward outweighs the discomfort of the habit, which means that it's going to make it actually stick that much better. So, again, the strategies to implement into your life when it comes to habits are pairing new habits with established ones, letting visibility work for you, and building a reward into a habit. Now, if you're trying to create a habit, we have a couple different great resources for you that you can use that are totally free and will help keep those habits visible for you. I love a streak. I love to be able to show that I've done something 7, 10, 30 days in a row, or that I've only missed 1 or 2 days within that window. That something feels really satisfying to me about that. I kind of get that dopamine hit when I do this. So, first of all, if you were around a few months ago, you heard us talking about our Big 3 Wellness Challenge. And this is a set of 3 daily activities that you can do. That will help propel you towards wellness. So, first of all, it's 30 minutes of daily movement. We have 30 minutes of mindfulness, or sorry, 10 minutes of mindfulness. And then where you let one thing go in your life that is no longer serving you. And that can be a food, that could be something totally unrelated like social media or TV. But those are 3 things that we want you to do each day. So you can get that download for free at fullfocus.co/wellness tracker. And you'll be able to print that out. You have space to track those habits for 10 full weeks, which is amazing. So we're kind of thinking through that principle of it takes 66 days to accomplish a wellness related habit. And so we've given you space for actually 70 days to give you a little buffer in there. The other download that you can get that is, again, totally free, these resources are free, that will help you track your habits is what we call our streak tracker. This is another printable that you can, paste on your fridge or on your bathroom mirror or somewhere visible that you're going to see this on a daily basis at your desk, at your office. And you can just go to fullfocus.co/streak tracker to download that. And you have space for 8 daily habits that you will be able to implement. The other thing that I want to point out, if you're like me and you're focusing specifically on wellness, you may want to pick up our weekly wellness tracker. This is a great new product that we just came out with that gives you space to meal plan for your week and track those daily habits that you are looking to focus on for just that 1 week. And you can add in your weekly big 3 as well. So you're kind of able to keep everything at a glance, top of mind, so that you're more likely to be successful with that. Now, I want to encourage you as we're heading into October, which, oh my gosh, I cannot believe that we're at the end of Q3 and walking into Q4. It is bananas to me. But as we are doing that, I want to encourage you to think through, what are the habits in your life that are serving you, and what are the habits that are not serving you in your life? And maybe if you are thinking through, what are some habits that I could implement that could really serve me in this next season, in this next 3 months before the end of the year, so that I can set myself up for, great success for the next 3 months and in the year to come. All right, guys, it's been so great being with you today. So thanks for joining me on Focus on This. This is the most productive podcast on the internet. So make sure to share it with your friends if you found this episode helpful, and join me in the Full Focus Planner community on Facebook, so you can benefit from all the creativity and encouragement of people just like you who are chasing big dreams. So Ken and I will finally be back together next week. We can't wait to talk to you. So until then, stay focused.